dozens since then. And I'm working on something really big right now. Richard Speck. Richard Speck, I asked. The guy who murdered all those nurses back in the 60s? The life and times of. Docudrama? Docudrama! Shit, listen to this. Now, how's this for a grabber of an opening? Pan across an empty apartment, floor level. Broken glass on the carpet. On the TV screen, a test pattern flickering. A laundry hamper filled with clean, folded nurses' linen. A woman crawls out from beneath a bed. The camera tracks her out to the balcony. She stands up slowly, leaning against the rail, and then screams into the dawn, "They're dead! All my friends are dead!" The score takes over. Max Steiner for sure. By God, this will be no low-budget handheld camera job. It'll be the real goods. Max Steiner, I ask, is he still alive? But Henry goes on. A man running down the alleyway, leaping over a fence, and then into the distance, gone. They'd never find another trace of him, except for his bloody footprints in the alleyway. But they caught him, I say. They caught Richard Speck. Oh, who the hell cares? Did I tell you this ain't no documentary? In my scenario, he's far from through. A dark, empty street. A shadow unscrews a light bulb in the foyer of an apartment house. The shadow leans against the wall, picking at his fingernails with something long and sharp. Speck waits along with a shadow just outside. Scene after scene, Henry describes images of mayhem and murder, some direct from the morning paper, others fantastic, heightened, projected onto an enormous screen. High in the western mountains, rocks, a clear blue sky, a soft wind. Speck sights a long-barreled rifle, and we see through the crosshairs of the scope. A village square, a church at one end, its spires casting shadows against the dirty street. Corpses in the shadows, buzzards flying overhead. Someone crosses the street, suddenly he grabs his throat, blood seeps through his fingers, he falls, twitching in the dust. Cut back to Speck in the rocks, far away from the pain and the suffering, from the dead laid out below. He sights his rifle again, the soft rasp of the wind. The western motif seems to stimulate Henry's imagination. Speck in the Dakota Territories, with the cavalry leaning up at Wounded Knee. Speck touring Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, sticking up banks and gas stations along the way. Tommy guns knocking out plate glass windows and bank tellers. Sheriffs with big bellies and Sam Brown belts. Placards with running boards. Maybe banjo music in the background. That's been done before, I tell him. So what? Who cares? What the hell do you think this business is all about anyway? Well, it's certainly not about all that killing, I say. Oh, that's where you're wrong, sonny boy. It's all about the killing. That's what the paying customers like most of all. Seeing the other guy get it. You see, it makes them forget they're going to have to go through with it all by themselves, too, alone. And it's likely to be slow, painful, and sloppy. By God, he can knock off the entire state of Kansas, and they'll love every minute of it, so long as they can walk out of the bijou alive and kicking, knowing it was the other guy that got it this time. We do the killing for him, and they can forget about the dying for a while. Of course, it's all phony, a scam, but at least my Richard Speck will strip it down to the bone. Like what Chandler used to do, or Hammett before he shacked up with that uppity Hellman dame. Hammett, I exclaim. Dashiell Hammett, that's what it is. And I point my finger at the niche above his head and the black bird inside that had been staring at me throughout the entire interview with its cold reptilian eyes. Yes, says Henry, that's the dingus, all right. The real thing. Or should I say the real fake? Right there, in the niche above Henry's head. There, in Henry Frank's living room, the stuff that dreams were made of. The Maltese Falcon. How did you... Oh, I've been a collector almost from the day I walked onto the set, he says. Good thing, too. The market for collectibles has gone sky high lately, so I've been living off this stuff, selling it piece by piece. There's more. He slides open the drawer on the desk beside him and removes a small cardboard jewelry box. Inside, sunk within a puff of cotton wadding, like this. The crew dug one just like this out of Lon Chaney Jr.'s heart, he says, after, of course, it had served its purpose. Even a man who is pure of heart and says his prayers at night can become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms and the autumn moon is bright, don't you know? Well, actually, it's only an alloy. Silver bullets tarnish, and you get a much higher sheen from aluminum. Take it, he said. It's yours. Oh, no, I can't. It's too... Go on, keep it. I got plenty more. Well, okay, I say. And I put it in my shirt pocket. You see, the prop department ordered about a dozen, since you never know when you might need a few others for a sequel. Takes more than one aluminum alloy bullet to keep a good wolfman down. But since you're so impressed with that little trinket, what do you think of the rest of my stuff? You haven't said a word about any of it. I apologize, but I hadn't recalled Henry having revealed anything to me other than the falcon and the silver bullet. He then informed me that the stuffed, wired-haired terrier sitting in the corner, its head cocked to one side, as if expecting a dog biscuit, had been the companion of Nick and Nora Charles in the Thin Man series, and that the small piano in the corner had been used by Dooley Wilson, Sam in Casablanca, to play as time goes by, again and again and again. And then he described the complex transactions that led to his acquiring Zorro's mask and Gunga Din's trumpet and the miniature King Kong that had scaled the Empire State Building for the love of Fay Ray. And the falcon, I ask, the Maltese falcon. Oh, now there's a real story for you. The rumors began even before the first day of the shoot. The art director said he got it from the producer. The producer said the New York office sent it. But the boys in the East didn't know a thing about it. And when the fat man first scratched the surface, he almost dropped it in the middle of the take, since he said he saw gold shining through the black enamel. After the movie was in the can, a Cypriot businessman who claimed the bird was his and was threatening to release certain documents if he didn't get it back, accidentally fell to his death from a hotel window. The studio put a lid on the case and locked the falcon in a special vault. But the very next day, the body of the prop manager was found inside the locked vault. The cause of his death unknown, although the purple puncture wound at the base of his neck, right about here, was thought to have had something to do with it. Of course, when the bird in the vault was discovered to be a plaster of Paris imitation of the real thing that appeared in the film, the lid was clamped down even tighter. By then, I had already had a reputation as a collector. And after the war, when American bucks were hard to come by, I got a telegram from a friend on location in Tangiers. The trail was still warm when I arrived. And from there, I arrived to Budapest, and then to Istanbul, where I was taken blindfolded to meet with a notorious black marketer who was eager to get rid of a certain figurine of a predatory bird said to have been responsible for the deaths of several people in Lisbon and Marseille. Naturally, he had one supposed to be of great value, but despite the gold veneer beneath the black surface, it wasn't worth half of what it cost him, which included the lives of two of his agents. Besides, there was talk then about an underground fascist network claiming descent from the Order of the Hospital of St. John of Jerusalem, which would stop at nothing to see that it was returned to its proper owners, whoever they might be. In short, I got the bird for a song.